Wirapong Ramangun, the chairman of the National Committee on Reconstruction and Development, said the government will soon start working on a 10-year plan to revive the economy and industrial sector damaged by the worst floods in more than 50 years. The Wirapong Committee consists of Deputy Premier Kitirat Naranong, Finance Minister Tirachai Puwanat Naranuban, Deputy Premier Yongyut Wichaydit, Pansak Winyarat, Kit Ponpad, ประเสริฐบุญสัมพันธ์ วิษณุเครืองาม and Supawut Saikia, among others. Wirapong, a former finance minister, said the government will have to quickly restore international confidence in Thailand so that foreign investors do not switch their investment to other countries. Wirapong will also lead a delegation to Japan shortly to reassure Japanese investors of the government's commitment to rebuild the economy and industrial sector following the massive floods in Ayutthaya and Pathum Thani provinces. We will try to come up with a package of long-term solutions covering the next 10 years, which would probably be based on the Eastern Seaboard Development Model used during the tenure of former Premier General Chachai Chunawan, he said, without elaborating on details. Meanwhile, the Yingluck government has named Sumet Tanti Wechakul, Secretary General of the Chai Patana Foundation, as the chief advisor of the government's Committee on Water Resources Management. This committee will be chaired by Deputy Premier Kitirat Naranong, with committee members including Agriculture Minister Thira Wongsamut, former Chief of Irrigation Department Pramod Maiklat, Science and Technology Minister Plot Prasop Suratsawadi, and Water Resources expert Royon Chitdon. The committee will also review all previous policies on water resources management and formulate new national strategies. Earlier, the Yingluck government said it will consider investing a combined 800 billion baht in water resources management and other mega infrastructure projects under the so-called New Thailand program. The worst floods in more than 50 years have hit millions of people in over 30 provinces in the Central Plain and Bangkok, while more than 14,000 firms have been directly or indirectly affected. The damage is estimated to be as much as 1 trillion baht, while this year's GDP growth has been revised downwards from 4% to 2.5 to 2.8%.
Another development of the flood situation is Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra coming out to admit that the barriers formed by the big bags will not be able to prevent the floods. The authorities have been placing small sandbags in big bags to form barriers in some parts of the capital to help prevent the floods from flowing into inner Bangkok. Yingluck said the big bags can only slow down the tides of water, but they cannot battle the huge volume of water flowing into the capital. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration said the big bag barriers of the government, particularly along the Jantaru Bekha, have not been completed. This can help prevent the floods by only 50%. Yingluck said the big bags might not help prevent the floods by 100%, but the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration must help the government to point out any vulnerable spots so that we can follow it up. Dr. Seri Suparathit, the water expert from Rangsit University, said once the big bag barriers are put in place and the authorities have failed to channel the water out, the water will accumulate its volume to create more severe floods. Dr. Seri said the authorities must quickly try to channel the water out of the capital. Residents along the Vipawadi Road have also attempted to destroy the big bag barriers, complaining that the flood level behind the barriers where they are living is higher. They have threatened to block the Don Mueang tollway as a result. Yingluck said it is necessary to talk it out with the residents affected by the floods in the area.
On the line with us is the Vice Chairman of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, Kun Phonsin Pacharin Tanakul. สวัสดีค่ะ คุณพรศิลป์
สวัสดีครับ
Good afternoon, ครับ คุณพรศิลป์
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. What is your expectation on the government's Reconstruction and Development Committee headed by Dr. Wirapong Ramangun?
Of course, personally, I have a very high expectation, and I hope this committee to succeed. But there are certain conditions which I think rather important. for this committee to succeed, as I said.
Yes.
Number one is regarding the economic issue. I think we need, this is only for the economic issues, and the flooding is concerned with the economic issue, for example. We need a lot of qualified people, and I think we have a lot of qualified people now. But qualified people in the area of flooding, in the area of flood management is not enough. They have to also understand the real problem and or the roots of the problem that we are facing right now, and then they have to give a sincere and effective recommendations. Now in the eyes of the foreign investors or in the world, we are having a risk. We are in a very risky position so far as creditability is concerned. So this is a very important timing that we have to boost up our confidence in the eye of the foreigners. So anyway, I have a very high hope, but I think this committee can work it out very fruitful.
Khun Ponsin, do you think it will be a challenge for the government to satisfy both the Thai and investors' confidence in the wake of this massive flooding, or do you think they will have to choose one side?
Of course, first of all, commitment from the Prime Minister is rather crucial. Right now, I haven't heard anything about from the Prime Minister herself to boost the confidence of the general public and foreign investors. Of course, setting up the committee is one way, but Prime Minister herself have to announce or have to say something. For example, we cannot have flooding in Thailand anymore. So if she already pronounced it in the public, then I think this will boost a lot of confidence. But so far, unfortunately, she hasn't said anything.
I see what you mean.
So I need her really to come out and commit politically about this flood situation, saying that we will never have this kind of thing anymore in our whole life. Then the details can be worked out later on.
Khun Ponsin, what should be the country's long-term strategy on economic and industrial development?
Well, actually, if we take this opportunity, we need really rethink our strategy for Thailand. And it's not only the flood that we are having the problem right now. We have the problem of infrastructure. We have the problem of politics. We have the problem of industrial development. We have the problem of social issues and so on. So I think my suggestion is if we take the opportunity of these tragedies, flooding tragedies, then we better quickly work out these four areas, not only economic. In the political arena, we have a lot of problems too. And of course, we really have to think very long term to fix these four problems. Environment problem, social problem, politics, and economics.
I see.
And of course, it will take time, maybe 5 or 10 years. But I hope that the people in government have the same idea and they can move ahead.
Khun Ponsin, like you said, there are many problems that we need to fix for our country, and it will take a long time. I agree with you on that. But can you give us any particular priority or which problem is more crucial to be fixed before the other ones?
I think the four agendas that I mentioned is all important. But if we start with one, then I would like to start with political issues. Political atmosphere in Thailand is very bad and is very discouraging. So the politicians themselves and the political party have to come out and commit themselves that right now we have a problem and we better find a solution. We have to find a solution for the politics in Thailand. How can we move our political system? How can politicians behave themselves? How can corruption be eradicated or reduced in Thailand? Everything in Thailand improving if the political situation is improved. Right now, we have a very depressed, a very low standard of political system in Thailand, and very low standard of politicians too. So if this thing can be solved quickly, I think we have a good opportunity to solve the other three.
I see. I agree with you on that. And let's hope this flood is a wake-up call for people of Thailand as well as politicians to finally get back to work.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us
Thank you so much,
today.
sir. The car maker Toyota and rivals, including Isuzu, are still unable to determine whether they can restore production in the country as damages from the flood are still being assessed. If the Thai floods continue to reduce production for 3 months, Toyota's operating profit may be cut by 200 billion yen, said Koji Endo, an auto analyst at Advanced Research Japan. Toyota was already producing at full capacity to recover from the impact of the March earthquake in Japan. So there is a limit to what it can do to recover from losses from the Thai floods, he said. Isuzu extended its production halt until November 11th because of parts shortages, it said in a statement yesterday. Separately, Toyota said it will extend output reductions until November the 18th. The floods may push back expansion plans at Toyota and Honda until the first quarter of 2012, Tracy Handler, a Troy, Michigan-based analyst at IHS Automotive, said November 5th. Japanese manufacturers, including Toyota, may have more difficulty shifting output away from Thailand, where they have more concentrated supply chains than the U.S. and European rivals, including Ford Motor Company, said Sekito of Credit Agricole. Ford, for instance, can probably shift production to North America or Mexico, but Thailand probably plays a more important role for Japanese companies, he said. American and European companies also have production lines in Thailand, but Japan is the closest geographically. Japan is the largest investor in Thailand, representing 57% of projects that were granted investment incentives last year, according to Thailand's Board of Investment. The setbacks come just as Japanese automakers and electronics manufacturers are restoring output after the March 11 earthquake and tsunami led to parts and power shortages that slashed output. The country's exporters are also reeling from the yen's gain to a post-war high on October 31st.